And here we go. Hey, everybody, coming soon podcast. Of course, once again, Spider here with Braxton Smith, being joined by Mark, man. Bro, pronounce your last name for me, man. I saw it and I don't want to chop it up, bro.
It's Kosobucki.
Kosobucki.
It's it. Yeah, that's why I'm referred to as Monster Mark on some of the web stuff
Just to
and
make it
everything.
easier, huh?
Just easier to remember. Yeah.
Man, well, of course. I mean, we brought you in here, man, because of the event coming up, which is going to be the Eerie Horror Fest. And what part are you of the promotion, man? What is it that that you do for the promotion? Should I ask?
I do all the graphic design for the most part for the Eerie Horror Festival, Eerie Horror Film Festival. So like all the poster art and like a lot of the graphics that you'll see is my work. So
No, you see, and I did look up your IMDb, man, and I mean, of course, the work that you've done through the indie horror films. Besides horror films, man, what other work have you done? I mean, as far as like music, anything else?
I've done some record covers for Magic Ninja. So like I've done a record cover for Twisted and some of their artists on their label. One of my biggest releases was Wednesday 13's last album, Necrophase. They did a limited run of the vinyl that I did the cover art for that. Some lower punk rock type bands and everything.
Okay,
Uh,
cool.
Stuff like Bloodshift out of Cleveland and Calabrese from Arizona was one of my very first covers that I well, was a poster I did for a show they did here in town, and then they bought the artwork from me and turned it into a cover.
Oh, nice,
So, but
man.
there's lots of other smaller bands and stuff like that. Scum of the Earth is Riggs from
Yeah,
Rob Zombie's band.
yeah.
So I've done some artwork for him, and he's like currently on tour with them again, doing some of the new stuff.
Oh, sweet, bro.
They just did Power Man 5000's tour poster for their next tour. So
Man, and of course, something
Hey,
like this. I
man,
mean, how long have you been doing this? I mean, what was it? Were you like an artist like in high school, or how did all this become part of your life, huh?
I've been drawing my whole life, and it just kind of like I was really good at like poster art in high school and stuff. And I went to college for. I started as an animation major, but I switched to video production. And after I got out of Edinburgh for video production, I went to Tom Savini School for special makeup effects. And after that, I've been designing for professionally for like 14 years, and I hop on indie films when I can, if the timing works out for my summer, because that's usually when a lot of this stuff films.
Right.
And if they have money to pay me,
Oh yeah.
I'll typically do it. If it's like a hey, we're just in our backyard, I won't do that stuff. But
No,
um,
for sure, man. And of course, I mean, you go under Monster Mark. You know, Braxton over here goes under Beautiful Monster, man. I might have to change my name, bro. Maybe Spider Monster. I don't know, man. We'll see, bro.
there you go.
hey, my man Mark is crazy busy with, and like that's the goal, man, to get like my man down here. I mean, he said if he has time, then he'll make it work. That's the goal.
Try. Yeah.
That's dope.
And of course, man. I mean, myself, I do come. I do. You know, high school, I was into punk rock music. You know, hardcore. Got into oi and ska and everything else, man. But I mean,
Awesome.
I was never that creative when it came to art. But I had friends that were like crazy good, man. They used to do poster flyers, you know, punk flyers for the events.
That's
A
super
lot of them,
cool.
I think two of them are actually tattoo artists now, you know, and they definitely making money off their creativity because
That's awesome.
for them, I know one of them went to school, but the other guy, he just kind of like, man, this is what I do. He just kept going with it and learned what he could, you know. But for yourself, what was the main reason for going back to school? I mean, taking, like you said, I mean, for
Taking art in college and stuff.
right,
I'm not good at anything else. So like
That makes
it's
sense.
kind of like I just kind of figured let's just run with it, see where it goes. And then when I got out of college, I mean, I was applying to places and I really couldn't get many interviews or anything. So like
right.
I mean I know how to make dentures and stuff. So I was applying at dental labs and stuff,
Oh, nice.
and I couldn't really get any interviews in. And I got one interview in town for like a marketing firm type thing, and they brought me in, and it was fun. It was nice, but they just decided I probably wasn't
The
write
right
for
thing.
them. I'm more of like an illustrator, and they're more like corporate.
Right.
So like they're like, yeah, thanks for coming in, and I just didn't really hear from them. And we're friends on Facebook and stuff with everyone, and everyone's cool.
Oh
And
man.
then so like my wife was just kind of like, why don't you just start doing your own thing? And you know, I've been working with Horrorfest since college, since around 2005, before our new management kind of took over. So I was doing artwork for them a little bit and kind of like, get my sea legs there. And it just kind of like steamrolled. I started meeting people through the Horror Fest, and that's how I kind of ended up on some movies. And I met a bar owner who gave me poster art to do, which hooked me up with a couple of bands. And then,
Nice,
here
bro.
we are. The more you
And,
do, the more you get to do. So,
right.
No, for
And
sure.
are you you're local? You're in San Antonio?
no,
No.
I'm in Erie, PA.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, you see, when I saw the name of the promotion, man, Eerie Horror Fest, I was like Eerie. I was thinking, oh man, okay, they probably got it from the spooky or from haunting, but that's the name of the town. I mean, that's where you
Hmm.
guys live.
Yeah, just one E. But like, yeah, that's it. Kind of worked out. Erie Horror Fest
Oh,
kind of
okay.
just makes sense for the
Like the
branding and everything.
show when I was a kid, Eerie in Indiana.
Yeah, I remember that show.
Yeah. Okay.
It was on like right around the time Goosebumps was, right? It was
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
similar.
oh,
that's
yesterday.
Yeah,
Are you
time right
afraid of the
there, man.
dark? Goosebumps. Eerie, Indiana. Yeah, that's my shows.
I remember.
Man, and of course, I mean, this event coming up. I mean, I'm sure you guys are looking forward to it. As far as guests, I mean, have you guys been dropping guest names, people coming up?
As of right now, like Jenna Davis, who's the voice of Megan, she's
I
booked,
saw
and
that, man.
I believe she'll be doing like a meet and greet and stuff. So we're excited to meet her. Um, they're doing it right now. I don't think there's many actual guests lists listed yet, but we have like events planned. So like Morricone Youth is going to play a live score to Night of the Living Dead as the film plays. That's going to be, I'm looking at the thing that says October 4th. I have my little cheat sheet over here.
Oh yes,
I think we're playing the Crazies like maybe the night after.
yeah,
The George Romero Foundation people will be in attendance for, I believe, the whole event.
nice, bro.
And then October 7th, like the closing night, will be Goblin playing kind of like a medley of stuff from a lot of like Demons and Deep Red and stuff like that. So that's going to be a really cool show.
No, yeah, you see, and this is more. It's an event, but it's more fan friendly, right? Because I mean, people are going to be able to sit next to the people that created the movies and actually participated on them. And I mean, as a fan, I mean, I gotta love that stuff because I mean, of course, growing up watching all these films, now we get to kind of meet the people that were behind it and be like, oh man, I've been watching this
Yeah.
stuff for years.
Right.
Yeah, it's cool to be able to meet some of your heroes and stuff, and like actually get to tell them how they influenced you and things like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's always a good time. There'll also be some vendors there too. Like we
Yeah.
have a little like a mini convention. It's the Warner's not like the biggest avenue for like a convention, but we do have some vendors that come in. I know that like our spokesperson for like vendors has been talking to a lot of people, and we've been trying to get more distributors to come out, stuff like Vinegar Syndrome and things like that. So I'm hoping that we'll have like we've had like critique before where like we would like to be able to buy DVDs, and so far it's been a lot of like artists and stuff. There hasn't been really any like people selling DVDs or anything, and that's kind of what some people want. So I mean, we're gonna try and make everyone happy.
No, no, for sure, man. And of course, I mean, this is going to be a 2 day event.
It's 4 day, 4 through 7, I
You see,
believe.
and I was reading that right now, and I got my date switched. But yeah, October 4th through the 7th. I mean, here
Yeah.
at Horror Fest, of course. And I gotta ask you, bro, because of course, you said with your work and what you do when it comes to being an artist. I mean, obviously, you've met a lot of cool people. Is there anybody out there that you're like, man, I want to someday work with this person?
Oh, geez.
I'm sure there's a few, but is there like one specific?
Um,
But I have a list of 20 people.
Oh yeah,
I mean, one of my favorite directors has always been John Landis.
oh yeah.
And it
Oh,
was pretty cool getting to meet him at Horror Hound once and get like his book signed. A lot of his movies are really cool, and I mean, like he did the Thriller music video and everything with
Yeah.
like Rick Baker doing effects and everything for it. So that was kind of like one of the starting points for me. As far as currently, I mean, hmm, there's lots of cool people that you know I've rubbed elbows with, so to speak, like on
Right.
stuff. So like, I mean, I wouldn't mind, working with Dee Wallace again. I mean, I wasn't on set with her. I worked on a movie that she was on. I didn't actually have anything to. I wasn't with her on anything.
Right. You just
But
being,
it would be cool to actually like be with her on set and see
oh
how
yeah,
she's like.
man.
I was on set for a little bit with Billy Zane for a movie called Zombie Killers, doing squibs and stuff. So that was cool. Um, he'd be cool. He was super cool, really nice to work with. I wouldn't mind, if I get the script I'm working on off the ground, it'd be cool to see if he'd be interested in that. But you know, yeah, I'm always open to like working with whoever.
Right.
So
No, and I got to ask you because, of course, I mean, being an artist, I mean, I'm pretty sure that includes, being an acting or being an actor. Music, man. Are you in music yourself? I mean, when it comes to like being in a band, or do you play instruments?
no, I always wanted to, but I never got into like music. I always wanted to learn guitar or something. Um, but I just never did. So never know, maybe someday,
Oh
it's
yeah,
always it's
Right.
always kind of like in back of my mind I should pick up guitar or something, or take lessons and do something. But
man.
um
What about vocals, man? Would you be interested in doing vocals?
maybe.
Yeah.
Eh, there's always the possibility until I get up in front of a microphone and just, yeah, you can't sing, get out of here.
Just,
So
just look the other way, man. Look at the drummer. You'll be
yeah.
good,
Yeah,
man.
you never
And
know.
of course, Braxton, man. I mean, he is up in Austin, Texas. I mean, I am in San Antonio. The man's from Alabama. I mean, moved down here a couple years back, but I mean, he's been involved with horror, for years growing up, myself included. We both come from the combat sports aspect. Me being the media guy, and the guy actually fighting inside the cage or the ring. But
Awesome.
when it comes to outside the horror world, man, what else are you involved in?
Most I read a lot of comic books. I mean, comic books are kind of like my thing. So I mean, I'm working on a comic book right now. I've got a book published on Amazon called "Scream All You Want: The Macaroni's Growing Mold."
I saw
It's
that,
kind
bro.
of like
Dang.
my version of Mad Magazine. It's kind of just like a dirty comic book. It's kind of ridiculous. I released it last year. So I mean, the next step, and one of the things I'm working on, is putting out a comic book for property that I've written with my friend Callie. So
Oh, sweet.
um,
Nice.
look, I mean, we're just kind of like getting started on it, and it should be pretty cool. We've gotten a lot of good reactions from the people who've read it so far. So
No, man, that's interesting because I mean Braxton himself, we're actually trying to get into the film for ourselves here locally. But I mean Braxton's been writing a few stories, just for us to kind of get into and start doing our
Yeah,
own
just
little
like
thing.
short. Yeah, just like some short films, man.
that's
Just
cool.
kind of listening to you talk, man. For me, it's a little bit. I'm the oddball, the weirdo. In my family, I'm the big athlete. I'm African American. Like you don't see too many people that look like me that that loves this stuff. But I mean, just hearing you, man, like jump from different projects and just nailing them and being successful. Like, how can you just like are you multitasking these things, or you're sitting down like knocking them out like one at a time, and then like all your focus is on one project, and then once you knock it out, then you move to the next.
Um, I have lots of things going at the same time. So I mean, like I'm working on a cover piece for a band called Destroyer X right now, and it's kind of, they're still recording the album as they gave me the cover to do. And then like uh most recently the Coffin Cats had messaged me about possibly doing their next cover, which will be more like photo collage stuff they've been letting me know. So it's more of like a design job and less of an illustration thing. And then in my free time, I'm kind of starting to like draw out boards and write out this comic book that I want to do.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like when I when I have enough energy to do my stuff, I'll start working on it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, whenever you get some free time, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Man, and that's pretty cool, man. Because I mean, like I mentioned earlier, I went through the punk rock ages, the late '80s, early '90s. I
Mhm.
myself released a zine here in the early '90s, man. That I was cut and pasting myself at Kinkos, and
That's
and
awesome.
I didn't have any artistic skills, so everything I did was shop and paste. But Have you ever done anything like that yourself? I mean, I know you mentioned the magazine, but were you ever kind of like into the whole zine?
No, I've always tried to do like artwork and everything, and that kind of like Tales from the Crypt type stuff. If somebody hires me though and wants me to do photo based stuff, I mean, a paycheck is a paycheck, and I'm happy to help with that type of work.
Man,
So
I'm
yeah,
glad to hear that.
it's not my favorite thing to do, but I will
Right.
do it. So
No, well, that's cool, man. Because of course, I mean, you do have skills, you know. So I mean, for you to be able to put them up to make you some money and make me, make some change, keep living life, bro. But I mean, what's your end goal? I mean, of course, I know you're busy, but is there something you want to accomplish like in the next 5 years?
yeah, have a movie done.
Nice, bro.
I want to direct my own movie,
I was thinking that. I was
and
like, he wants to do his movie.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I want to do the effects coordination on it, stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm kind of like getting my gears together, get my ducks in a row, and I kind of want to be able to go into a pitch session and just kind of say like, here's what we need and
yeah.
here's what's done, and basically just kind of say, like if a lot of the effects and the pre-production work is done, and I've already location scouted around here in town and everything, and get a budget together, I think it'll be easier, hopefully, to sell a script to a producer, and also say, like there's comic book property behind this now, it's published and everything. So like a lot of the producers that I've crossed paths with, they're not necessarily interested in like a script, but they've asked me for comic material, and that might be because I'm a graphic designer by at first, they people ask me if I've done comic stuff for like a movie, and
No, you see, and that's what I was going to ask you too, because I've seen, I mean, of course, some of the horror films, that come out, and I mean, they do come from comic book illustrations, but
Mhm.
I mean, it would just make sense because, I mean, do you think there's like, is it hard to be able to like go from comic books into movies? I mean, in your head, are you thinking, okay, it's going to be like an easy transition?
The way I had planned it was I wrote the script first, and then my writing partner Callie and I like cut it down and edited and everything. And I was like, well, the storyboards will come in the form of a comic book, which I'll take directly from the script. And then as I kind of started to go through the script, I started to think like, wow, we don't really need all of this extra stuff, all the direction. And it would take me like forever to do a comic book that's based off of like an 80, 90 page script. So I'm in the process of kind of like paraphrasing a lot of it, and whittling it down to like more of like a 50s or 60s type horror comic that kind of just gets right to the story, and a lot more retro looking.
Yeah,
I really kind of want to bring like EC vibes to it, and kind of like Creep Show did.
yeah,
They've got the comic book for Creep Show, and then like the movie and everything.
Right.
So that's
nice,
kind of like the end goal for me for this.
Nice.
man. And of course, I mean, Braxton, man. I mean, I know the guy's an artist. I don't know if he has any paintings back there, man, but and that Braxton, can you draw? I mean, have you ever drawn anything?
Yeah, I can't draw, bro.
Oh, I was
I
gonna say, I was
wish,
gonna ask
man.
you, man,
I,
but I
I
mean,
definitely wish, but I can't. I would, if I could trade in some athletic ability, it would probably be jumping ability, and so I can be able to put pen to a paper and like fucking get it, bro. But nah, I can't
No,
draw.
it's all practice, So I
no,
mean,
you see, man,
that's why we have YouTube tutorials and stuff now and stuff. You can almost
bro.
teach yourself anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing for myself, man, because I mean, I'm older, I mean, for me, it's hard for me to see it on video and put it to work. I mean, I'm more of a hands-on, so I gotta have that person with me saying, okay, this button, you do this, because otherwise I won't get it, man. Because I say it all the time, it is out there, man. But I mean, for those that are able to do something like that, of course, take advantage of it.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Definitely use your gifts if you got them.
I agree.
And if not, do like me and start a podcast. Name Braxton, man. That's all we can do right now, bro. So.
Podcasting's huge, though.
No, yeah, definitely, man. And of course, man. I mean, we brought you in here, like I mentioned. The whole Eerie Horror Fest coming up. The event, like you said, it is going to be 3 days. So for the people that are going to be, watching this and wanting to attend, I mean, what can they look forward to? I mean, I know you mentioned some of the guests and the movies, but what else is going to be available for them?
There'll be some vendors. It's a great atmosphere. The theater is beautiful. I've seen Alice Cooper there 3 times,
Oh,
and
nice, bro.
it's the coolest theater to see horror movies in. Last year we played Nosferatu with like a live pipe organ, and it's like a 100-year-old theater or something. I
Oh,
mean, my
man.
grandmother saw Bride of Frankenstein when it opened there and had to walk
Seriously.
home. It's
Dang,
like
that's dope.
it's the coolest thing.
Wow,
So
bro.
Wow.
yeah, so for someone who likes old horror movies and things, it's a great venue to see it. It's not just
Wow.
like, you know,
Yeah,
you've
I
been to
mean,
some theaters where they're just kind of like boxy or whatever, and kind of like a dump maybe, but this place is beautiful. Vendors are always cool, lots of stuff. They'll be we're trying to do like more like after event type stuff, like maybe like after event parties and things like that. Um, so that'll be happening. There've been I did like a seminar on sculpting last year. I'm not sure if we're doing seminars again this year. I'm assuming if they want me to do another sculpting seminar, I'll do one. So that's pretty cool. We did other ones too. I'm not exactly sure what they were. I was so nervous about sculpting in front of people. So I was just kind of like in my own world.
no,
Um,
and then I mean, being a sculptor, I mean, is that something that started from you drawing as well, or is that something you picked up later on?
I learned at the Savini School. I hadn't sculpted anything before I got there, but for someone with a drawing foundation, I picked it up pretty quickly, and they have really good teachers um, in Pittsburgh. So when they explained it to me, I was like, oh, this makes total sense. And then you can just kind of start once you start to like go and figure it out on your own. Where it gets tricky is like detailing and learning how to do skin textures and things like that, and
Yeah,
how skin actually lays on a face and things like that. Um, but I mean, there's no real rules when it comes to like making monsters or anything. So I mean, it you know
yeah, and I
it
mean, a lot of it's going to be your creativity. Whatever's in your head, and you can put it on paper. I mean, of course, that's
yeah.
pretty brilliant, man. And man, and you know what? This is just for myself. I mean, I don't know, Braxton, if you ever took art in high school. My
Absolutely.
freshman year,
Middle
I
school.
actually signed up, and I was supposed to do half a semester. I was looking forward to it, and it turned out I was a credit short when it came to, I don't know if it was English or I don't know, one of my classes. So I had to get off of art and go take something else, man. And I hated it because I was like, damn, I was really looking forward to that, and I just never went back to it, man. Unfortunately, but yeah, I wish I
Did
could
you
take
fail
creative
art,
classes.
bro?
What's that?
Did you fail art?
No, no, no. I didn't take it. I
Oh,
had to actually, yeah. Like the first week, the teacher's like, hey, go to the principal's office. They're calling or something happened.
oh, you in the wrong class or something?
Yeah, bro. So
Okay.
I had to like make up a credit, half a credit for something else. So they were like, hey, you can do it. You can do it this year instead of art, and that way you can get your credits and graduate on time. And I was like, man, bro, like really? So I didn't want to go to summer school, so I went ahead and did that. But I mean, I regret it, man, because I wish I could have stayed there and use my creativity for something
It
because
was always fun, bro. Like I said, I couldn't. That was never a gift of mine. But just watching other students draw, and especially the teacher, man, I really enjoyed art. Was one of my favorite classes, and
oh man, bro, don't
um,
tell me that, man.
It's like a second recess almost because
Yeah,
you're not really. I mean, you're working, but it's like
fun.
fun work, you
Yeah.
know.
exactly.
And it's like art was always like, this is what's going to save my average. Is this art class is my easy A, and then like I can kind of relax in chemistry a little bit, and
No, no, for sure, man. And since we're in that subject, man, when it comes to high school, I mean, how, Mark, I mean, how were you in high school, man? Were you like in a group? Were you hanging out with certain people, or how was high school life?
I had friends. I wasn't really super athletic or anything. But I mean, I didn't really have problems getting friends or anything like that. I mean, I didn't get invited to a lot of parties. So
He was
that's
a cool
probably where
guy, popular
horror
guy.
films took over. Was just me renting tons of horror films on Friday after school because
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't have
man.
nothing to do, and then sitting all weekend watching horror movies and drawing and stuff.
Yeah, I
So
still do that. Yeah, I get you, man.
Yeah, and I kind of wish that being a star athlete, being in school, and worried about girls and getting in trouble. I still find time to watch horror movies, and I still was that guy. But I wish I could have done what you guys did more, man. And who knows what this mind of mine could be then. When it comes to writing, man, like I just really want to like bust it open, and for people that look like me and my skin color, man, to show other people that like you can also excel in this world as well if you love it and if you put the time into it. And
Absolutely.
I think that I have something to give. So, but we'll see how it turns out.
It's
No,
easy to get frustrated
yeah,
when starting projects and things.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that way sometimes with pieces that I'll design, or with like stories that I'll start to like outline and things like that. I'll start to kind of like lose interest if I don't see it shaping up right away. And
right.
then you kind of have to push past it. And if you're able to push past it and just kind of like, I'm just going to finish it, like finish what you start, you'll feel happier about it in the end result, you know.
No, no, yeah.
So
Great advice.
it's a lot of outlining, and a lot of screwing up, and a lot of erasing, and you
Yeah.
know.
I was gonna say, thank God for an eraser, right? Go back and start
Absolutely.
over,
And
man.
especially because I do a lot of stuff on computer, it's just like a button click and
Oh,
that line is gone and I can do it over. So
Right.
man, and of course, I mean, now that you mentioned computers, I mean, when you started drawing, I mean, was part of your education when it came to putting it in graphic design, was that in high school, or did you go? Is that what you went to school and college for?
when I was in high school, we were just kind of starting to learn Photoshop. My high school
Oh,
had like very early like Photoshop 5 or whatever it was.
yeah.
So it didn't have all the bells and whistles that it does now. And I kind of started tinkering around with it. I was real novice with it. I didn't really start to learn graphic design until I started with the Horror Fest in like 2005. And
Okay.
my friend Andy was kind of doing all the major design work, and he was kind of just showing me what he does. And then I kind of just learned by doing. Like I kind of took what he did and kind of put my own spin on things.
Right.
And then when I got to college, it was a different track for me. I had photography classes, and like I really didn't go the graphic design route in college, but I was kind of still doing it on my own.
Nice.
So
You see, man, and that's one of the things too, because I mean, this is how old I am. Of course, when I was in high school, and once again, I took photography, and I had to like the first week. This was my sophomore year.
mhm.
I signed up, and like the third day of class, the teacher's like, okay, everybody bring your cameras tomorrow. I'm like, I go up to after class, I go and ask him. I said, hey, what camera? I thought you guys loaned us cameras, and he's like, nah, you got to bring your own camera. And I was mind blown because I didn't have one, man. So once again, he's like, "Hey, go talk to the principal." I had to go talk to my counselor to get out of freaking photography, and took business management for like half a semester, man. So there goes another one, bro. Like I keep missing out on it.
Isn't it a bummer? Like, there's all these cool things, but they don't want to like give money to them.
Yeah,
Like it would be
Yeah.
cool if like everyone could have a camera,
yeah.
or at
I
least
mean,
rent one.
I honestly thought they were gonna loan this one because I was like, man, I don't have one, but I was like, I want to learn. But when I was taking photography, of course, we were still developing film. So this is like back in 89, 90. So, I mean, it wasn't
Okay.
digital, so I'm kind of like, well, it just wasn't meant to be. But yeah, when came to the digital photography, that's when I started getting involved. And I'm still not great. I still haven't learned a lot, but I mean, I learned to dab on it and just do what I can, when it comes to photos. But,
Yeah.
I just wish I would have been able to do all those classes, man. Who knows what
Yeah.
I would have done right now, man? Heck, missed
I
out.
think when we were in school, they let us. I think they had everything for us. Like you can kind of like rent it out, but you will be responsible if something happened to it.
Yeah, you see, I thought that's the same way, man. I was
Yeah.
like, maybe they'll just have us sign a waiver or something and nothing, bro. I
Yeah.
was like,
That's how it should be.
In
yeah,
my video production classes in college, we had like there wasn't a lot of sections of it that you could take, and like they had like maybe 3 really nice cameras that you could rent out at my college, and then like a bunch of handy cams that you could get at like Best Buy or whatever.
right,
And like you could rent those out, but like people were fighting over like the Panasonics and everything and trying to get them. So like some people would actually loan out like the extra money on their school loans to buy their own Panasonic camera, and just, you know, I mean, it's an extra 3 grand that you're already paying for, like, you're already going to be paying it back for school. So you might
right.
as well get yourself a camera if that's a track you want to do. And then you don't have to worry about, you know,
Yeah, trying to
getting
fight for
stuff
one.
back.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yep.
Not everyone had that option though, but like, some people were able to manage that.
No, no, for sure, man. And let me go back to this sculpting thing, man, because of course you said last year you were able to do a seminar or a class, right, to be able to show.
Mhm.
Have you ever done that online?
I've never done a seminar online for sculpting. I've talked with like high school classes and stuff
Yeah.
occasionally. I did one about like a year and a half ago. I did like a Skype call with a high school class. Um, and it was pretty cool. I mean, like they brought in artwork to show me, and I kind of gave them like little critiques and stuff, and talked about like my career in graphic design and everything, and how I'm trying and how I'm like working as like a freelance artist and stuff like that, and
Oh yeah,
managing
bro.
managing between that and like solo projects and things.
Man, yeah. I mean, that'd be interesting because I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure it happened during COVID. Was it like during that time?
It was just after.
Okay.
It was just after. But it didn't work out right where I was going to be able to go in. So I was just like, can we do a Zoom call? Because I can sit here all day.
Yeah.
And the teacher was more than happy to just let me
No, that's cool.
call
I
in, and
mean,
they had like a huge screen in their classroom and everything, which is super cool. Like, you know, when I think about me going to high school, there was no like flat screen TVs where people
oh
would
heck
like
no,
zoom
bro.
in and stuff.
We were still getting that box TV and that little cart, man.
Oh
Yeah, they
man.
will
We're
will it
Yep.
having fun.
in, will it in, and will it out. Like,
Oh
man,
yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. You knew it was a good day if they were wheeling the TV
Oh,
in because you weren't
definitely.
getting to do anything.
You see, the worst times, and I will say this, man, when we would go to class and we'd see it, and we're like, oh man, we're gonna watch a movie, and the teacher, she starts talking, oh, go open your books too, we're all looking at each other like, we're not gonna watch a movie. She's like, oh no, that was a period before you guys, and we're like, oh man,
Ah,
like, I mean, that was such a letdown, bro, because it happened more than once, man. I hated that.
yep. Yeah. I never liked that sort of stuff.
Yeah, man. I was like, damn, but yeah, man. But of course, I mean, for those that are going to be attending, like I said, man, this is going to be an Erie Horror Fest, man. For those watching, I mean, what can you say, man? I mean, of course, you said there's going to be vendors, there's going to be film festivals. You guys are going to be setting up like after parties after the events.
I think there'll probably be one or I'm not sure if there'll be two or not.
Yeah.
I think there'll definitely be one that my wife and some of the rest of the board is working on.
Okay. Cool,
Um,
man.
right now things are still shaping up. There will be like celebs doing like signings and things.
Right.
I'm not sure of who. I mean, there's been names tossed around that I don't want to say that
Right.
because I
Right.
don't want to get anyone excited in case it's not possible. Um, but yeah, like there should be people like signing autographs and things, and possibly some seminars, and they do like a screenwriting competition where you can like some people will uh, they can submit a screenplay for a chance to like pitch to like industry professionals
Oh,
and
sweet, man.
possibly win like development, not like a contract, but
Right.
like a it's like the a group called Blood Oath will like talk with you about a pitch session or how to pitch to like a producer and everything like that. So you get like a professional work up for your script to
Right.
like make it better.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though, man. Because those are some of the things that for some reason a lot of people don't do. It's not like it's not a secret. I mean, but I mean, I guess some people don't want people to succeed. But for those that do, man, by all means, that actually helps out.
You
But
find that out pretty quick in indie film that
yeah,
you'll yeah.
there can only be one mindset, that mentality. There can only be one. Like, nah, it's enough room for everybody to get it, man.
Yeah,
no,
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that comes out. So I mean, there's no reason to like push anyone down. So I know that, John, our festival president is really big on trying to help young filmmakers like
right.
get their films going and off the ground, and like,
No, yeah, man, it
it's
makes
good.
sense.
It's a good opportunity to come out. And even if you're not in the pitch competition, you never know who you might meet.
Right.
So like the one I was there selling my posters the one year when I met Harrison Smith, who,
Oh, nice.
ended up he was there promoting The Fields with Cloris Leachman. And from meeting him and working with him on a couple of things, we eventually got to the special a couple of years down the road, which,
Sweet.
is going to be, I mean, I think it's already starting to shape up like a cult classic. Who knows where it'll be in like
Yeah.
10, 15 years, but it's like we filmed this, in like 2019, and I still see him post like random tweets about, hey, I just watched this movie and I loved it, and it's like 5 years old, so
Yeah, bro. You see, and those are the kind of films like Braxton has talked about too, man. They don't die. I mean, we never know which one's going to be a cult classic, but I mean, look at the
yeah.
conventions now. You get actors from movies that when they came out nobody cared about or nobody saw, and now it's like 10, 15 years later, man. Everybody's going
Jennifer
crazy.
Aniston in Leprechaun,
Yeah,
who
bro.
knew what was going to happen
Yeah,
from that,
DiCaprio. DiCaprio came out in a few. I mean, horror movies. Johnny Depp. He was in freaking Nightmare on Elm Street. So,
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore.
oh yeah,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course. I can't forget her, bro. She was killed off right off the bat, but hey, man, she was, and well, the thing with her, I think she was already being a name. I think that's one of the things I was talking to I forgot his name, but I was talking to him about because she was like a big name, and they killed her off right away, and they kind of like people were
Scream.
like, oh shit, like who's gonna make it, and
Right.
but yeah,
It was a gutsy move for Scream
Yeah.
to do that, but it was like Psycho,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
we're
Man.
gonna kill our blonde bombshell in the first half hour or whatever,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then there's the real story. Is like it's really cool how they did that. No one saw it coming because like
Oh, hell
she's up
no.
front on the poster.
I
So
love it. Yeah. I mean, because it breaks rules, and you keep in the viewers and audience like, man, we don't know what the hell's going to happen now.
Yeah.
We thought she would definitely be a final girl, but
Yeah.
not today, So.
And man, and of course, I mean that's kind of why we love this stuff because I mean, I'm sure yourself, man. When you start getting ready to make that film, there's going to be twists, there's going to be unexpected, things that people aren't going to expect and be like, oh crap, okay, let's see where he's going with this, because the storyline for me, man, it's always big. I watch a lot of indie films, and I'm like, man, if it doesn't grasp me right away, I kind of, I'll watch the film, but it's just like, man, it's got to be good,
give
storyline.
about 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
15 minutes. If it's not like dragging you in, then maybe we could try something else. I've played that many nights.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I was and off subject, but I mean, I did watch a film last night, and I fell asleep watching it, and then I wake up and freaking Terrifier 2's on, and I'm like watching, and I was like, what the heck? And I started watching, and I fell back to sleep, but I was just like, man, I gotta watch these films, bro.
I still haven't seen Terrifier 2. I'm late to the game on a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I loved All Hallows Eve, and I love Terrifier, so like I'm sure I'll like part 2. I mean, it's going to be just an awesome gore fest. So
yeah. Yep. And then of course, part 3 coming up with the bigger money and the bigger gore. So we'll see where that goes, man.
Yeah.
But bro, I mean, of course, back to this Eerie, man. I mean, I hope people that are going to be watching, be able to attend. Have a blast because myself and Braxton going to these events here locally in Texas, they've been great, man. I mean, like you said, bro, it's like rubbing elbows with people that you never know, years, months later, a year later, they hit you up and they're like, hey, you know what, like I've got this coming up, I've thought of you, or maybe give you a part in the movie or artwork. You never know, man. Those are always great connections to make.
It was like one of the first things Savini said in our like orientation at school was like, meet people, be nice to people, talk to whoever. It's like he met Tarantino when he was like working at a video store or something, and he hadn't done anything yet. And then like, Tarantino of course knew who Savini was, but like, if he had just like brushed him off, who he probably wouldn't have been in From Dusk Till Dawn,
No kidding, man.
So,
wow.
Yeah. You never know who's going to strike oil,
You never know.
Yeah. You see, and this is off subject, man, but I always tell people this story because my oldest here locally, her mom's like, hey, Celeste wants to go to this. There's an artist they're going to be playing downtown. She wants to go see her. And I'm like, okay, we get there and Pepsi tour, sponsored by Pepsi or whatever. And there's a, little kid dancing and singing, and I'm, we did the whole photo thing, and the dad's like, hey, yeah. I'm like, oh, my daughter wanted to meet her. We did a photo and all, and the dad's talking big, like, oh man, she's going places, she's gonna go on tour. We got all this, and so I just kind of like, okay, cool, man. I mean, it was a good performance. It was live, so it was kind of a little rocky. But later on that year, I'm watching the TV, and it was Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it just like
there you go.
The kid, my kid took a photo with her, my flip phone, of course, old school, man, and I lost that damn phone. But I always told my oldest, like, yeah, I remember we met Taylor Swift, and she's like, Dad, I don't remember, and I'm like, how can you not remember, But it's just, but yeah, you never know, man. I mean, it's just opportunities are out there, so we'll see, brother. But man, I mean, I appreciate you jumping on this, bro. I mean, of course, people can follow you on Instagram, man. Go ahead and drop your plug on that.
Yeah, my Instagram is monstermark138. Yeah, follow me on Instagram. That's where I do all my posting and everything. So, you know, I don't have like, I used to have a website, but I mean, no one ever went to it. Everyone was just doing social media anyway.
Yeah,
So
man.
I was like, let's just stick with Instagram. It's doing well so far. So
no, no, for sure, man. Of course, it's a lot easy access, you know, because people can message you directly, and you know,
yeah.
they need work done, then by all means, they can find you right there. And I
Yep.
saw your handle on Instagram, and I thought 138. I mean, that's a Misfits, right?
Yep.
Reference. There you go, man. I knew. I saw it, and I said, yeah, it's got to be a Misfits reference, bro.
I got the
There you go, man. I didn't
Yep.
even see that, bro. Look at that. Woo.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Well, Braxton, man, you got anything, bro? You want to drop something?
Oh no, man! I just appreciate Monster Mark, you know, coming around giving us his time, man, and spitting some knowledge and some words of wisdom, man, that we'll take, and I'll definitely take and use those in my career and continue to go, man. And hopefully we can make it out. We're already kind of booked. I think we're already maybe going to Kentucky this year, but man, definitely, you know, come check you guys out if y'all have anything else, you know, after that or sometime next year for sure. But we'll appreciate you coming on, brother, for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me.
Man, and real
definitely
quick,
check out the EerieHorrorFest.com and you know all the socials and everything. We're on Facebook and Instagram, so easy to find.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna share this real quick, man, and it's just the image, but I mean, this is for the poster, of course, happening October 4th to 7th, the Warner Theater, like you said. So for those watching, you know, definitely go to the website, check them out, follow up, and man, we appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man. But we'll definitely, I mean, after this event, yes, sir. I was gonna say after this venue, man, I'd love to bring you back on here because I'm gonna hit you up for some possible work, man, because I've seen your work and I want a couple of pieces done myself.
Of course,
I gotta go check his work out, man.
Oh yeah, bro. I mean, his covers, bro. Go to his IMDb, man. He's done a lot of great work, man. But
nice.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Mark. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too, brother.